if you're a parent.
Huh.
Or, actually, even if you just remember being a teenager, you probably know that feeling. That low-level hum of anxiety that just sort of never fully goes away.
Yeah, that fear.
Exactly. The fear that just one random moment, one bad choice could shatter everything you've tried so hard to build, you know? Well, that terrifying vulnerability, that's really the emotional heart of Kristin Hannah's novel Night Road. She's actually said the idea came right from her own life, specifically her son's senior year of high school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she called it the best, worst, craziest, scariest, most stressful year of her life. You could feel that energy in the book.
That makes sense.
So our mission today, for you listening, is to kind of cut through it all. We've looked at the book summaries, the analyses, the discussion guides, all that stuff.
Right.
And we want to give you a shortcut, basically, to understanding the complex feelings and the big arguments at the core of this novel.
Yeah.
It's definitely seen as a really powerful piece of contemporary women's fiction.
And it's important to say, the sources we dove into, they don't just, lay out the plot points. They really expose the tough moral questions the book makes you grapple with.
Like what?
Well, like how much control should parents have? What happens when grief just takes over? And maybe the biggest one, can you actually find your way back to forgiveness after something truly awful?
Okay.
So yeah, we'll trace the plot, but we really want to spend time on those themes, the things that stick with you long after you finish reading.
Good plan. So let's start with the setup. The setting's pretty key here, right?
Definitely. We meet the Faradays. They live on Bainbridge Island, Washington. This is early 2000s. And on the surface, it's idyllic. Like, picture perfect.
It's in the family.
You've got Miles, he's a successful surgeon, then the twins, Mia and Zach. But the real center of this world is Jude, the mom.
Jude.
Yes, Jude is like the absolute definition of a helicopter mom. Super involved, maybe over-involved in keeping this safe, perfect bubble around her kids.
Okay, so perfect bubble means something's got to pop it.
Exactly. Enter Lexi Baill. She arrives and immediately complicates things. She's 14, tough in a way, resilient, but she's also had a really hard time.
Foster care.
Yeah, bounced around the system for years. She ends up living with her great aunt near the Faradays. And the sources really highlight this instant connection between Mia, who's very outgoing, and Lexi, who's more guarded, more wounded.
And Jude. How does she react initially?
At first, Jude actually welcomes Lexi. She kind of sees her as a good influence on Mia, maybe someone who can help keep Mia grounded.
But it's not that simple.
It never is, right? Because while everyone sees Mia and Lexi as this inseparable pair, there's something else developing underneath.
The hidden relationship?
Yeah, Lexi and Zach, Mia's twin brother, fall in love. Quietly, deeply. And they keep it a total secret.
Why?
Well, the sources say they were really worried about upsetting the balance, that tight little group of three. They didn't want to hurt Mia or disrupt things, especially with Jude watching everything so closely. They figured they'd just wait until after graduation.
Trying to protect that perfect world.
But perfect worlds are fragile. The sources show this tension building all through their senior year. And then comes graduation night. A party.
And this is it, the turning point.
This is what the analyses call the reckoning, the moment everything changes.
Okay, lay it out. What happens? Because the details here, they matter hugely for what comes next, right? For the blame.
Absolutely critical.
Yeah.
So Zach was meant to be the designated driver, but he'd been drinking at the party.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Lexi, who had also been drinking, decides she should drive instead. Maybe she thought she was less drunk or just trying to take control of a bad situation. It's not entirely clear why, but she gets behind the wheel.
Intoxicated. Driving.
It's late. It's dark. They're on this winding road, the night road of the title, and she loses control.
Oh, no.
The crash.
Yeah.
It's horrific. Mia dies.
Yeah.
And just like that, the Faraday family, that perfect structure, just obliterated. The whole novel pivots right there.
Yeah.
From that curated safety to the absolute harsh reality that one terrible decision.
Made in the moment.
Yeah, a moment of youth, bad judgment, alcohol. It can just have these catastrophic ripple effects that last for years, decades even.
And the immediate ripple is fallout, pure fallout. Jude's reaction must be intense.
Intense is an understatement. She's not just grieving. She is consumed by rage. And she needs someone to blame, somewhere to direct all that pain and anger.
And she chooses Lexi.
Squarely, without hesitation. The sources make it clear Jude needed a villain, and Lexi, the outsider, the foster kid, she's the easy target.
Does Lexi fight it?
No, that's the thing. Lexi is just drowning in guilt. She knows what she did, what it cost everyone. She genuinely believes she deserves to be punished.
So she confesses.
She pleads guilty, vehicular homicide, and she's sentenced to prison. But the story takes another huge twist while she's inside.
Okay, I remember this part from the summaries. This is major.
Huge. While Lexi is serving her time, she finds out she's pregnant.
With Zach's child.
With Zach's child.
Yeah.
A living symbol of everything, the love, the secret, the tragedy, and it forces her into this impossible choice.
How does she do?
This is what the analyses really focus on as a moment of, like, selfless sacrifice. She decides she can't let her child grow up with the stigma of having a mother in prison.
Because that's her own history repeating.
Exactly. Her own mother was unreliable, incarcerated. Lexi wants something different, something stable for her baby, so she makes this absolutely heartbreaking decision.
She gives the baby up.
She relinquishes custody to Zach.
Wow.
She names the baby Grace Mia Farraday. Grace for hope, Mia in memory of her friend. And her one condition, her one request, is that Grace never finds out her birth mother is a convict.
Trying to break the cycle, give a kid a clean slate.
Yeah, giving Grace the family Lexi never had, even if it means erasing herself from the picture.
So then the story jumps forward.
Jumps ahead 6 years. And we see just how deep the scars run Jude is.
Yeah.
Well, she's a shadow. Completely isolated, can't connect with her husband Miles, can't connect with Zach. And crucially, she can't really connect with Grace.
Even though Grace is her granddaughter.
Right, because Grace is this constant living reminder of Mia, of what they lost. For Jude, seeing Grace is just painful.
And Zach.
Zach's raising Grace as a single dad, and he's just buried under this mountain of guilt, his own guilt about drinking that night, about letting Lexi drive, about everything. It's unspoken, mostly, but it's there.
Okay, so that sets up the second half, this isolation. It lets the book really dig into the big themes, right? Motherhood, blame.
Precisely. This is where the sources really unpack the core ideas. One major contrast they highlight is between Jude's parenting style and Miles.
The helicopter mom versus what's Miles like?
Distant. Jude has this amazing quote in the book. She calls him a satellite, positioned so far up in the sky he needed a telescope to track the goings on his own home.
Oof. That's harsh but vivid.
It really paints a picture. So you have Jude micromanaging everything, desperate for control and safety.
Probably too much control.
Maybe. And then Miles, who's kind of checked out. The book uses them to ask these tough questions. Is total safety even achievable? And what's the cost? Do you stifle your kids trying to protect them?
And Jude's need for control. It's not just about her kids, is it? There's backstory there.
Oh, yeah. The analyses trace it right back. Generational trauma. Jude's own mother, Caroline, was apparently completely absent. The book says she handled motherhood as if it were radioactive waste.
Wow. Okay.
So Jude's intensity, her overprotectiveness, it's a direct reaction against her own lonely childhood. She's trying desperately not to be her mother.
But then Lexi, she has mother issues too.
Right. It's parallel. Lexi's deep-seated negative self-image, her feeling that she's just fundamentally flawed, that comes directly from her mother, Lorena, who had substance abuse problems, was in and out of jail.
So both Jude and Lexi are caught in these cycles, trying to react against their mother's failures, but maybe repeating them in different ways.
That's exactly the argument the sources make. They're both trying, and arguably failing, to break free from those legacies, which brings us back to the crash.
And the blame game.
Yeah, the discussion guides really push on this. How do you actually assign fault when things are so messy, so morally gray?
Well, I mean, Lexi drove drunk. Legally, it seems clear.
Legally, yes. She pled guilty, she served time, but the sources, they really push you to think beyond just the legal definition. They ask, okay, how much is Lexi's fault for driving? Sure, but how much is Zach's?
For drinking when he was a D.
Right, yeah. And this is where it gets really interesting, how much fault lies with Jude.
Jude,
Yeah.
how? Because she was too controlling.
Partly that, but also the source material points out Jude had made the specific promise to the twins. Call me anytime, anywhere, no matter what, I'll pick you up, no questions asked.
Oh.
So the analysis asks, did her helicopter parenting actually make the twins so scared of disappointing her or getting in trouble that they felt they couldn't call her? Did they choose the incredibly risky option because calling mom felt worse?
That's a tough question.
And some analyses even bring Mia into it, suggesting maybe her desire to keep the group together, keep things normal, added to the pressure cooker atmosphere that night. It forces you to see it not as one person's mistake, but like a failure of the whole system.
That reframing changes things. And it connects to another point the sources raise about justice and class, right?
Absolutely. Did Lexi end up paying a steeper price because she didn't have the resources the Faradays did? Because she was, as the sources put it, powerless and broke.
Lacking the social capital and money to fight back or present a different narrative?
Exactly. It raises questions about the whole justice system. Was Jude really seeking impartial justice in court? Or was she using the system to get revenge on an easy target, someone who couldn't really defend herself effectively?
The book suggests the Faradays' wealth allowed them to occupy the grieving victim role very publicly, demanding punishment.
While Lexi kind of had no choice but to accept the villain role, it's a subtle but powerful critique.
Okay, so after all this time, this blame, this grief, how does anyone move forward? Lexi gets out of prison eventually.
After 6 years, yeah, she's released. And she makes another incredibly difficult decision. She decides she wants to be part of Grace's life.
Which means confronting the Faradays. Legally.
It leads straight to a legal battle. Painful. Inevitable, really. This forces everyone, especially Jude, to finally confront everything they've been avoiding.
So what breaks the deadlock? What allows Jude to finally start healing?
It's a discovery. Almost sounds like a trope, but it works powerfully here. Jude finds Mia's diary.
And what's in it?
Not just teenage stuff. It's full of Mia's deep, unconditional love for Lexi, her loyalty to her friend. Reading it forces Jude to face a really hard truth.
That by destroying Lexi.
She was hurting someone her own daughter loved deeply, someone Mia wouldn't have wanted punished like that.
That must have been shattering. In a different way.
It's the crack in the armor. The sources say this is the moment Jude starts to understand that grieving her daughter doesn't mean she has to keep punishing the person who survived. She starts to see Lexi not just as the cause of the tragedy, but as another victim of it, and as her granddaughter's mother.
And that opens the door.
It opens the door to forgiveness. Jude finds it in herself to forgive Lexi, and more than that, she actually helps bring Zach and Lexi back together.
So the family starts to rebuild.
Slowly. Painfully. But yes, they start figuring out what this new version of family looks like, united by loving Grace and remembering Mia, but in a healthier way.
And Jude's final realization sums it all up.
Perfectly. The sources highlight this quote near the end where Jude understands that in the sea of grief, there were moments of grace, moments of time when one could remember what was left rather than all that had been lost.
From rage to grace.
That's the journey. It shows the possibility, the necessity, really, of forgiveness and acceptance to move forward.
It's quite an arc. From that initial fear, through the absolute worst happening, and then finding a way through 6 years of pain.
Yeah.
It's powerful because it doesn't just stop at the crash. It explores the messy reality of living after.
Exactly. Which brings us to one last thought. Something the source material really makes you chew on.
Okay.
We talked about Jude knowing her kids were partying senior year, knowing there was drinking. She warned them, but she didn't forbid them from going. She trusted them, essentially.
Right.
So here's the question the sources leave you with for you, the listener, to think about. When you're parenting teenagers, that choice, warning them about dangers like drinking and driving, but then trusting them to make the right call, is that wise balance? Is it realistic acceptance of their growing independence?
Or is it kind of passively allowing it? Tacit permission for them to take those risks.
Precisely. Where's the line between trust and permissiveness when the stakes are so incredibly high?
Definitely something to mull over. A tough one.
It is.
Well, thank you for sharing all those insights from the sources on Night Road. A really compelling deep dive.
Glad we could unpack it.
And thank you for listening. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.